Hello and welcome to a new episode of Under 360 English. Today we are going to discuss about NDTV share and the recent development happened there in the NDTV company and the stakeholding pattern, how it's been changed and Adani's interest on NDTV, etc. etc. We all heard about the news that Adani Group is going to take over NDTV Limited. With this news, the stock has been rallied to 200%, and if you just look on the price chart, you can find that 1 month back it was 262 rupees and now it is trading at 495 rupees. Consecutive upper circuits that contributes the share takes to these levels. So in this episode, we are going to discuss, more importantly, what exactly as an investor you have to do with NDTV stocks, or if you are an investor intended to get into NDTV, whether that's beneficial or not, or if you hold that shares now itself, is that good enough to hold that? And a few history as well as what's behind cooking up the NDTV story. These all things we'll be discussing in this episode. So stay tuned, keep watching. So recently Adani picked up a stake of almost 29% in an indirect mode in NDTV company. We know that in 1988, NDTV has been incorporated by Pranay Roy and his wife Radhika Pranay Roy. I had a nostalgic feeling, childhood feeling about NDTV because at that time Doordarshan, almost 20, 25 or 30 years back, Doordarshan at weekly ones, I believe that was in Saturdays or Sundays, Pranay Roy had one program called World This Week. That was an half-an-hour program, I believe. He used to encapsulate all the events that happened around the world for the last week and encapsulated and presented it to the public. That was a very interesting program and everyone liked it. And when liberalization comes, separate channel has been launched and that went in that way. So anyway, that's a part of the history. So when we just look on the promoter holding pattern, you can find that RRPR Holding Private Limited, that has a holding of almost 29%, and Radhika Roy has a 16% stake. Pranay Roy has a 16% stake. These are the promoter holding. And other FI holding that contributes almost 15% and public holds nearly 24%. Big investors like Dolly Rajiv Khanna, he holds shares for nearly 32 crores. So data is on 30th June 2022. So the history starts with something like RRPR Holdings took loan from India Bulls Financial Services. After some time, in order to repay that loan, since the interest percentage was very high, RRPR took loan from ICICI Bank. After some time, even ICICI Bank looks not at all attractive. The loan terms and condition not at all looks attractive to RRPR. So what they did is they issued warrants to a company called VCPL, Vishwapradhan Company. Since that's warrant, that was an interest-free loan. This is in the year of 2009. So RRPL was happy since in ICICI they were paying 19%. So almost entire stake that held by RRPL in NDTV that has been given as warrants to VCPL to get the loan amount. The condition for loan or condition on this warrant was nothing but they can claim money at any point of time, and if NDTV or RRPL is unable to repay the money, they can exercise their warrant. That means they can take over the stake that held by RRPL there in NDTV. So what happened next was very dubious. This VCPL has been acquired by Adani's media wing, that's AMG Media Networks Limited. So what happened? This warrant also owned by the Adani Group. They have exercised these warrants through VCPL. Obviously, what happened is RRPL's stake in NDTV has been indirectly got into the hands of Adani. This is what happened. Since RRPL holds nearly 29% of the stake in NDTV, as per the regulation, if someone someone acquires more than 25% of the stake, they have to go for an open offer to others to give an opportunity to exit from their shares. So that's what now Adani has been floated. So an open offer price of 294 rupees has been offered for NDTV shares. Now you may think, will anyone offer their shares at 294 rupees when the current market price is nearly 500 rupees. Exactly, that's the logic. It's a fact and it's very evident that none of the retail investors will tender their shares at this price. But more or less, Adani don't want the shares of retailers also. There comes to the importance of the foreign institutional investors' interest there. We already told that FIA holding is nearly 15%. And who all are the FIAs? We will get amused with the facts. Majority of the FIAs are Mauritius-based investment holding companies and including the LTS Investment, Visaga India, GRD Securities, Confirmed Rebuild, etc. etc. Among this, it's another interesting fact is all these FIAs, so-called FIA holding companies, they have huge investments there in all the Adani companies under the tag of FIAs itself. So it's a rumor says that the so-called FIA companies that they have invested there in NDTV is also the indirect holding companies of Adani itself. So in that case, it's not a difficult task for them to get their holdings also into Adani's hand. So with that, if they can able to get these shares, nearly 45 to 50% of the shares, the Adani can able to fetch. More or less, Roy's, both Pranay as well as Radhika Roy, they may lose control over the entity. Anyway, Pranay and Radhika Roy has been moved to the court against this, mainly citing the fact that the Roy's has been banned from market till 22 by SEBI due to some insider trading in the previous years. Now the question is why Adanis are very much after NDTV. We know that in India, almost all the media companies, they are biased in one way or another. Moreover, they need some widespread media to propagate their interests as well as their philosophies to the common public. We know that TV18 that holds by Reliance Empire and such kind of things are there. So they want to propagate their ideologies to the public. They want to have a media that could be able to justify their stance and they can inject their interest to the public also. For example, you can find a lot of cryptocurrency awareness programs there in TV18 networks. Why so? Because Ambani has his interest in developing the crypto platforms. Similarly, Adani might also have the interest. Moreover, NDTV is considered as one of the unbiased news channels, one of the rarest of the breed there in India. So acquiring that brand, acquiring that channel and propagating the philosophy of Adani or a business house or the third richest man in this world can help them to reach the public with credibility. Because majority won't comes into know that NDTV is an Adani entity even after the acquisition. So just like Ambani, Adani also want to have a footprint in media business. That's a main reason why Adani is looking for these kind of stealth takeover. Now, what investors need to do? That's a question. For the past few days, NDTV shares are on the upper circuit, 5% upper circuit. Do we need to jump into the shares and buy that? That's a question. The obvious answer is no. Because the share in terms of valuation, NDTV shares are trading at a premium rate. So if you jump into that, since that's in upper circuit, the probability of getting the stock is less. But if one find if that comes into the lower circuit and if you purchase that, there's a higher possibility that that will go for continuous lower circuits. And the share may get corrected even to 30 to 40% in a short period of time itself. So never jump into these stocks and lose your money. There are many stocks available in the same sector. Even TV18 looks attractive than NDTV now. Why I'm telling this is, I got a lot of messages asking whether NDTV is an attractive bet at this time or not, because Adanis are investing. We should keep one thing in mind that wherever Ambani invested, wherever Ambani acquired some company, that company has not been come out in colors. Just Dial you take, what happened to Just Dial? I don't expect that Just Dial's price will skyrocket like anything. Nothing happened. So after the initial boom or that charisma, that will eventually settles to its fair value. So it's better stay away from that counter. So that's all for now. See you in the next episode. Till then, bye from Anup.